Peace and power. I just wanted to check in. Brother Rod just sent me his live. So I'm gonna hop on here momentarily.
Fuckers is. That's why I don't hang with a whole bunch of black fucking bitches. That's why y'all have taught me. My mother, my aunts, my cousins in there. With people that you don't know, and you're naive and stupid because you have mother issues like I've had. You have childhood issues like I've had. But I don't look for mother figures. I don't look for sister and brother figures. I'm learning to trust and stand on my own. I don't have to be in the groups because I know what they do. Because I've been around them, even when I didn't try to get in the groups. All the people I just told you about, them people came to me trying to initiate and recruit me. I never seek them out because I never heard of them. From being in Georgia, I don't know nothing about no conscious community. I don't know nothing about no vegetarian shit. I don't know nothing about no soy milk, all that bullshit. I don't know nothing about these people, these gurus that they buy. I don't know about the poor. I don't know nothing about these people. Never heard of these people. So I didn't try to get in the group. They tried to put me in there. They tried to rob and rape and pillage and plunder off of me. Like they treat everybody like this is the next sucker. And they feel like because I'm down south, I got a country accent, you can just fucking do that shit to me. And you can't do that to me. So y'all want to go in these groups with these black women because they're black and they wear their hair nappy and they pro-black and all that consign shit and the black woman is God shit and the black man is God shit and worshiping black dick. Most of this black dick you worship also worship black dick and they like boys. And you're just a paycheck for them.
Now, all of the things that we've been fighting against, she summed that shit up. They think because we talk country that we done. They think that we don't see when they be coming up with that good brother shit that we done. And we don't see past them saying good brother. We can't see past that. They think that we can't see the soft sale or the sellout coming. They think that we don't have that perception. But the sister telling you how they operate, they MO. See, they come in, right? They try to make business deals with you to barter and trade on what you can create for your people for their own selfish gain, right? She ain't lying. But these are people that she's talking about. The character trait is not ours. That character trait is not from our people. She talk about how we operate. Adults don't get in other adults' business as long as it don't involve harming a child. If a child is involved, all adults is involved automatically. If somebody hurting a kid. Other than that, grown folks, it's the code of the street, right? You see something, but you don't see it. You heard it, but you didn't hear it. You might have seen it, but you didn't see it. But you sure ain't gonna say what you didn't see nor what you didn't hear. Because the monkeys don't see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, right? But when they see that motherfucking evil being done, and they gonna eventually intervene, right? So the people from the land have a code of ethics that overrides the character that's natural to our invaders. They got a natural disposition to feel superior to us because that's their character. They have a natural disposition to never let us figure out that they trying to take our creative forces and use it for their advantages while they use the exchange as a tool of oppression. There's nothing in the society that they didn't weaponize in order to fight and oppress us. The whole society is geared to oppression. And you think because you brown skin, dark skin, that you the only one getting oppressed. You must ain't never been to Kentucky to the trailer parks off in the backwoods. Them what they call poor white trash. You must ain't never seen them. We not the only ones struggling. You ain't seen them natives down there in Arizona on the reservations, fucked up, right? But they believe that we the only ones that catch the brunt of the natures of oppression. They equal opportunity predators. They just operate on preying using different bait for different people. And when they take that motherfucking bait, is when that's when the overlay is. Because once they trap you, yep, they call them trailer park trash, some of the best motherfucking people you want to meet. They ain't got time to be worried about stepping on somebody for their skin color. They trying to survive just like us. You ever watch the Louisiana boys off in the bayou catching alligators? That's how they make a living. Them country boys down there in them backwoods can make more money in a day than most of you niggas selling dope. If they choose to do it, they know exactly what to do because they know the land and how to survive off the fat of the land. If you run into a bad dope supply, you screwed. Now you got to figure out what to do about it. They not gonna never run into some dumb shit because they not gonna do dumb shit. They gonna talk a little country. They gonna use a patois, whether it's they Creole drawl, whether it's they country boy slang, whether it's they slow talking that it sound like they can't comprehend what you saying. Yep. Whether it's these moonshine runners, right? Whether it's these puff tree log haulers, right? Whether it's these motherfuckers that till the fields and plant the seeds, or the motherfuckers that come seasonal to harvest the motherfucking fruits of the labor. It don't matter. We know the land, and we go by the law of the land. And the law of the land say each one teach one. That's inbred in us from ever. If you know, and it's a benefit to the entirety of the community, you're obligated by the law of the land to spill your guts in the public domain to how to resolve the matter. Most people talk about the problem but never come up and with a solution to none of that shit. They pick your motherfucking pockets in farm programs. We had all kind of motherfuckers, all the way back as far as Sweet Your Daddy Grace and Father Divine, collecting money to be self-sufficient and independent. And at the end of it, when that one motherfucker die, ain't nobody else self-sufficient and independent. That's because the only person he was trying to get self-sufficient and independent was himself, right? So they keep underestimating us. That lady is not to be fucked with. That lady got some angelic beings waiting to kick a motherfucker in the ass. So y'all need to understand what y'all be dealing with before y'all go sticking y'all motherfucking heads in hornets' nests. Some of these hornets is motherfucking murder hornets. You can't just run up on anybody from the spiritual with the conjure. Just because they not using the conjure don't mean they're not protected. Sometimes because they are not using the conjure, they are 10 times more protected than the person using the conjure. Because they walking in some shit called the position of right. And then if they fucking around telling the truth and you come up against that, you suffer the brunt of some shit they don't got nothing. That's just how Big Mama moves, right? Big Mama look out for the innocent, even when it look like she ain't. Most of these motherfuckers that's looking innocent but catching the dirt probably done something to somebody that was innocent, right? So you can't necessarily be saying he a good person and you ain't know that motherfucker. Because some of these motherfuckers, I've personally known some real rotten motherfuckers. And I've known some real good motherfuckers. And normally when one of them rotten motherfuckers do something to one of them good motherfuckers to harm them, some tragedy come to them that two's 10 times or 100 times worse. My mama told me don't seek revenge. And she told me the greatest lesson I'm gonna ever teach you as a man is don't seek revenge. She say, you young now. I was a teenager. She say, you young now. You got the time and the luxury to watch the ones who tried to do the dirt to you and how their life turned out. You just sit back and watch. And if you watch, you will see everybody that didn't mean you no good gonna be exposed. And I know every one of them. The ones that did it out of fear, the ones did it out of jealousy, the ones did it out of envy. But you know what? Life done some shit to them motherfuckers that if I'd have killed them, they would have never been able to get what karma was gonna dish out. Instant karma not always the sweetest revenge. That's what people don't understand. When you messing with them chosen ones, right? Those organic ones to the lead, and they trying to not get in your business, and you trying to drag them in your business, you creating a self-imposed difficulty, a problem. You drawing on a problem. They not the problem. The fact that they was minding their business trying to do right, and you dragging them into your bullshit, created the problem for you, not them. When you see somebody that's going about their business, they doing what they believe in their heart of hearts to be right, and they not hurting nobody. They just minding their business, but you see something they got and you want it. Oh, it's not your shit. You can't go trying to suck and leech off the chosen ones without receiving something back in a negative backlash. It's the law of physics. The law of physics said for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Unless due to elasticity, in which case the reaction is delayed. Now, the slow karma is the worst karma because you're catching the double whammy. You're catching the slow grind that'll pull back of the rubber band. When it's drawn back to its intensity, you suffering. And then when they get tired and it's reached this much of the hands, then the rubber band snap and that motherfucking delayed reaction kicks in. And now you feel the whole brunt at one time. You just smashed into a brick wall at a high rate of speed with very little protection. You must have been driving on a bike downhill real fast. That's the intelligence level that you're using. Leave them people alone. Them ones that mind their business and don't get in nobody's business and don't be trying to hurt nobody, just try to go about their, leave them people alone. Don't drag them into your shit. I'm telling you what God love, that's the truth. You keep fucking with the people that's trying to do what's right, and you trying to negotiate them into your bullshit contracts of any sort, your wicked agreements, with your ill intent to undermine and take what they creating from their innate goodness. That's not nothing that you should do. Mama said that's not how you treat people, right? She said the reason why this world messed up like right now is because other people want to leech and suck off of the good people. And the good people be leached and sucked off so bad that they can't do nothing about the bad people. Because they done been drained fucking dry by the so-called good intention people that don't want to do their own work. Now everybody want to talk about holding somebody accountable. Accountability. Where the fuck they get that shit from? The only motherfuckers that's accountable is the motherfuckers that's willing to take account. Karma gonna straighten them out. Ain't nobody gotta be accountable. But I tell you what, karma's still gonna come, whether they accountable or not. Karma's still gonna come. She's still gonna give you exactly what you earned. And just because you think you're getting away with your slickery, your conniving, your underhandedness, your backbiting, backstabbing, chopping motherfuckers off at the knees, right? You want to put your spells on motherfuckers in order to manipulate them to do your dirty work. Y'all don't know what y'all done did. Because y'all got to get all that back from Big Mama. And you better hope she give it back to you real. Well, there ain't no way around it. If you get it slow, you suffer long. If you get it fast, you suffer hard. So you can take your pick. Stop trying to fuck over these kids. I'm the scourge they send for motherfuckers that fuck over the kids. Cut their head off. Nope. Split their testicles. Nope. Because some of them into that. Look, these motherfuckers do motherfucking shit like hammer nails through their testicle sack. They do. They put knives through their penises. They into that shit. They into self-mutilation and self-torture. What the fuck you think they care about torturing another motherfucker? But now it's a new day, and it's a new day dawning for the ones that was trying to do us right, and all the motherfuckers that kept getting in the way decided that, well,
Okay.
we ain't got nobody but us. Ain't no. Motherfucker flying out the sky with no surfing on no cloud to come help us. All we got is us. And we get rid of the enemy within, we ain't got to worry about the enemy without. Don't fall for the false judgments of an artificial construct. That's how you get stuck and jammed up in the matrix. Right? There's some more people that I like to watch on YouTube. I got one, a tarot reader, and even if most of her stuff be so on point with how I feel, even if it don't always manifest. Somebody was messing with her last night, and I was like, God, I don't know y'all messing with me. This is another one of those
I received $40,000 for donating.
She was doing the spread, and somebody was heckling her in the comments, and I was telling her, they don't even know what they're getting into.
Hey, Scorpio, how you doing?
This is Blue Rose Tarot.
Let's get into your reading. All right, y'all. Okay. Slide it on back here.
I think this might even be. No,
Let's see.
Thank you. One she did last night. The one she was reading, I think it was yesterday. And they was messing with her. I said, y'all don't even know who y'all messing with. The girl got eyes like Christina. She know what the fuck she talking about when she flipping them cards. And her shit be so lining up, I can send her receipts for the shit she be saying. Right? Because like I get the receipts and then go watch and she'll flip the cards to match. To receipt that I already got. Blue Rose Tarot, yeah, she out home. And somebody came in her comments and I was like, y'all be messing with God people. And y'all be thinking everybody the same. Everybody not the same. That's where y'all don't be understand heck with you in social media. Right? So because you don't believe the bullshit they telling you, they send their little low-level minions that don't have the sensibility of self to even listen to what you saying before they start heckling you. Anybody that know how to match the receipts up, which most people don't, but if you know how to match the receipts up, you know you're dealing with one of the elect, one of those special ones. To the land, they priestesses and priests, princesses and princes, waiting on the changing of the guard, so to speak, in the old regime to fall so the new regime rise. When these old souls come back now, people got other people so fucked up, so twisted, that they don't realize that everybody ain't the same, right? So a person get comfortable talking crazy to people and thinking that everywhere they go, they can just say what they want to anybody with no consequence. They coming. You just ain't got to them yet. You might get away for a long time. What Johnny Cash say? You can run on for a long time. You can run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gonna cut you down. Sooner or later, gonna cut you down. Y'all can't. This is the wrong era in time to assume everybody the same. Everything look human, not human. Everything that look like us ain't us. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. But it's deeper than that. Because everybody that look different, they ain't our enemy. Because no matter how you look, we can all hit the same frequency. And it's a heart frequency, which is rooted and founded in love. And if y'all don't get that fact, it don't even matter. Now, I ain't no lovey-dovey, cuddly motherfucker in the public. You know, that's my shit that's my private, personal shit. You know, in the public, I ain't no cuddle bear. Right? Because I don't want a motherfucker to misconstrue or get it mistaken that I'm one of these motherfuckers that they can just walk up to because I'm cuddled next to some chick and they can say or do whatever they want to do. They're going to automatically know from my appearance or my presence. He is not to be fucked with. Even if they think they can win, they don't even want the tussle. The tussle ain't worth the fight. Right? So I'm a cuddle bear in private. I'm just not one in public. Right? I'll ball the fuck up in the corner with your ass in private. I'm just not no motherfucking public because they done turned that shit into some sissy shit now. Mm-hmm. Right? The half of fags is holding hands with each other out there now. That no, y'all. Back in the day, it wouldn't have been thought of before these homosexual cults came over here. You could have held your homeboy hand without nothing being. It was just an exchange of energy, and we understood energy. You do some shit like that now, you sweet booty chuck ass. No, we can't do that now. We can't do that. We can't show no weakness to the motherfucking enemy at this time. Right? So, I mean, everybody gotta understand their lane. And everybody ain't on the same level, spiritually speaking. Y'all start messing with people and they just trying to do what's right, trying to help somebody else out, and y'all trying to cut them down. That's a bad combination for your own benefit, for your own self-betterment. Stop doing that. Stop picking on them good people. If you ain't gonna help a motherfucker to uplift them, don't come try to leech off of them or cut them down. Right? Because we got a whole new guard. We not marching like Martin no more. When we do march, your ass is too late. Ain't nothing to talk about no more. When we do decide to march. When we march, we on a cadence call. On some real life shit. On some guerrilla warfare in the urban jungle ass shit. Right? So we ain't trying to get to that point I want to get to that point, but that's not what my. We ain't trying to get to that point. We ain't trying to make everybody hit the streets and start tearing this bitch up. If we do make moves, they must be organized this right. Watch Cali, they doing it out there. Now y'all not here, y'all not watching, cause y'all. Y'all don't know the Cali culture. If y'all was paying attention to the Cali culture, y'all would know how far we is in the progression of reclaiming the land. Y'all not gonna go out to Cali with no bullshit right now. Check the fuck in. That's all I'm gonna say about that. If you know if you know what's going on the land, don't go to Cali without checking in, because you need to be accounted for by the OGs. Right? It's underground urban actions are being taken. Right? Underground urban moves are being made. Right? That has nothing to do concerning the people on the land. We literally in Cali, they confiscating the enemy's shit being transported across their land, which, according to the law of the land, anything that comes through there, they have a right to seize it under the direction of the chiefs. If the chiefs say seize it, they're gonna seize it, and it's gonna be strategic and it's gonna be overwhelming. Watch Cali, they doing this shit for us. They showing us how we supposed to move with precision, with purpose, and with a direct agenda, and that's moved in a way that's going to make progressive forward moves and not bring the whole kingdom back down on itself, like when the ones who didn't know what they was getting into. They couldn't prepare for something they had never experienced before. And Free Larry Hoover is the battle cry, right? So if we have to get on the streets and say Free Larry Hoover, that's really going to be ungood, right? So we try to not have to get on the streets because they watching this shit. They know who the fuck we is. They know what we talking about. They know how to code flip to. The CIA been doing it in our face for years. I've been watching it in silence, that is.
Now,
But when I give them a knock two and knock back on the 1, 2, 3 off of the Gorilla Grip on the North Pole flip to turn the planet upside down and spin that motherfucking bitch around and put them all in a headlock, on a hurt lock, on a guillotine flip, snapping necks across this land, they know what I'm talking about. Gorillas and motherfucking bears is rocking all across the land. And Papa Bear is a gorilla. It's as simple as that. And Mama Bear is a lion because she's a Leo. And she leading the pride of matriarchs. It's over with going on who ain't supposed to be here. Even a lot of us is going to be shocked at who ain't supposed to be here when this shit is over with. Some of the people that you thought was really about it was about some bullshit. They not going to be it. It ain't personal. Once you find out how your enemy moves, you weed them some bitches out. You make them expose themselves. Put them out, and you let the people get them off the land. You get them off the land by knowing who they is. A fraud, one thing about them is they can't live with themselves and they can't be fraud other people. Right? So when they can't tell you what they want to tell you because you got motherfuckers like me that's going to tell you that's a goddamn lie. That shit ain't true. I don't know where they got it from. But this is where you find the real shit at. Right? So that can put all these motherfuckers' knuckles to the ground. When the real leader goes, anybody can fill the position as long as he looks the part. When the real leader comes, they all got to take a back seat in the motherfuckers' nose. And leadership means as leadership does, is what you can see into the future. You got to know how to operate like that board game. That means you got to be surgically precise with your precise means. And the more precise you is, the Sun Tzu said, the greatest victory is the victory without combat. That means that you beat your enemy mentally first. Because the mental victory precedes the physical victory. So if you can defeat him in the man, you can already defeat him before the battlefield ever even come into play. Now all you got to do is take it a step further and eliminate the battlefield from the equation. It's a battlefield of the mind at that point, right? And from the battlefield of the mind, that's when you start getting them clowns flipping out into the open, thinking that they masterminds and they really just deceiving the people with flashy minds. Just because a motherfucker got pretty words, can talk loud, fast, hits you in the stomach with his words with an emotional fervor, that don't mean that motherfucker know goddamn shit about what he talking about.
Okay.
And how you know is they'll start trying to not talk bad about the motherfucker telling the truth, but they'll try to ignore it or shy away from it, evade the answer to the question of who this motherfucker is. They don't want to talk about that shit. Because now they know they going to have to bow down to something greater than that bullshit they've been running on the people. And that's the goddamn truth. When you get with the truth and you start showing people that the truth is being told, then motherfuckers' feelings be really hurt at who you find out that knew they was lying when they was telling that goddamn lie that they told when they lied about the bullshit they lied about. That big white lie was a little white lie that created a whale of a problem. And that little white lie was that we came on ships. But the ancestors that was here when the motherfuckers came said they didn't see no goddamn ships. Because they knew that they was going to run this bullshit, they needed a record of it. Those stupid motherfuckers were stupid enough to say that our ancestors' cognitive dissonance was so great when they came on their ship that they didn't even see the ships in the ocean. That don't even make sense. They've been trading with Khan Mansa Musa. They've been trading with motherfucking the Chinese emperors. How the fuck they don't know what a boat look like? So when these people come and they say they don't see no ships, they got to be talking about a slave ship because we still can't find them. Right? We find what you call deteriorated relics of one, but we got a 5,000-year-old ship from Egypt that was under the fucking sand some goddamn where. They got a 5,000-year-old ship from Egypt. They got a 15,000-year-old ship from China that they done pulled from under the Pacific. And we still can't find no slave ship, and that ship wasn't even at that long ago. And the slave ships they do have is they said it's a replica, and the replica is from a drone. This shit doesn't make sense. They're not gonna keep telling us that we dumb because we talk country. We're not gonna keep mining that shit. They're not gonna keep fucking with us and thinking that this shit doesn't have a consequence. Because the consequence is not obvious on the face, what they call a prima facie consequence. That doesn't mean that the mechanisms under the bottom, the cogs in the wheels ain't falling from under the machine. The machine might look like it's whole on the outside, but if you start looking under the mechanics, you find that motherfucker don't have no engine. That motherfucker don't got no drivetrain. That motherfucker ain't got no interior. It ain't got no sound system. It's just a shell of a system that used to be. That was always a fraud created in the minds of the people by some very some sick talking psychopathic maniacs who are the land and steal their birthright. The only thing about it is they always got to give you a way to discover. If Big Mama tell me to find the problem, I'm a bloodhound on the case. All them country boys know what a bloodhound gonna do. He gonna sniff that shit out. He gonna sniff that shit out. I don't care where you put it at. If it's around, the bloodhound gonna find it. Big Mama gonna tell you what to sniff out. We gonna sniff it out, right? Them country boys know the lane. We know how to track a motherfucker across the lane. We can watch the animals and know where you at from 1,000 miles away because we talk to the fucking animals, idiots. The animals is generated within the field. The only difference between what you think and what an animal think is changing the radio station. That's it. If you can learn how to change the radio station on a totem dial, you can tune in to all of the animals and they're going to tell you what's going on clean across the lane. They're going to tell you the condition of all of the people clean across the land by tuning in to their frequency. And only the master of masters can tune in to every animal. And that's one of my curses on Dr. Doolittle. While you think I'm doing little, I'm talking to a lot. You looking at me laughing in the 3D, but I'm looking at you in the 12D talking about what the fuck is his problem. You must don't know what I'm doing.
What's up, Goldmouth?
Right? Motherfuckers always know it until it's time to show it.
I like to hear him talk his shits. Let me see.
Don't got no receipts there. Right? So, this is what, that was the topic today. It was to give fair warning to people fucking with God's chosen people. The Jews of God is these priestesses and these princesses and these princes that rising up to become the next generation.
Right.
And some of them got higher spiritual rank. All of the old souls come back and they don't have the same tolerance for that simplistic shit.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a question in here. Let me see what it says.
After this play, I'm gonna get.
Okay, so
I'm gonna send my link.
My sister Robin was born with a veil on her face too. And the females, the females born with the veil on are priestesses by birthright, and they're born to be a priestess, which is they are some kind of public type person. They know have a certain type of outreach to people, hold families together. They be the glue. For the males, they become normally some kind of psychic seer, and some of those females be very highly psychic, born with the veil. That's always a sign of the spiritual class in our culture when they say you're born with the veil on your face. Ain't no such thing as most powerful clans. You have clans that have more priests, or you have clans that have more warriors. But we used to do shit mano a mano, and sometimes we would have two warriors that would fight for hours non-stop. But we stopped doing that a long time ago when people started getting soft. So it became what we call today modern sports and athletics, Olympiad games.
Let me see if he'll come on my channel.
You have different people with chop. So we don't remember the culture like that, or we can't see the consistent. The problem that we always have in academia is taking sides and studying the knowledge of historical events as told by historical personas. Because when you understand our history, is just as much theatrical as it is actual. So you have to learn to read it with an objective perspective, and you have to read it like a tarot card as more so than an actual event where you can get the energy substance from the lesson and you can forget about the one-sided view of the lesson. If you get the energy substance of the lesson, that means that you have to see it from first, second, third, and fourth person perspective. You have to also see it from what you call the overhead perspective, or the overstanding, and the underbelly perspective, which is the understanding. You see all the different angles without taking sides. Then you have created um, a crystal reservoir of knowledge based around that one topic that can branch off into many different subjects without you losing the essence of the lesson, right? So, um, Sekhmet is the mother of all of the lion or cat clans. So you got, um, you know about Bast and you know about Sekhmet, but there, every cat, right? Every cat species have a goddess that represents that cat species. Like, um, it's the way that it's set up. Because they are totems. The totem animal and the system of the totem is the earliest system of spirituality, and that came from a time when we first started studying nature itself. And then when we first started studying nature itself, we got into classifying people by the animal nature that they studied and how he interacted in nature, and that became that clan's or that class totem animal, right? And this is why you have mascots on varsity jackets to this day. And these totem animals then formed into totem groups, right? So you have the bird clans, which falls under Thoth, which falls under the mental reservoir of air. And Aquarius is ruled by air, but it's also the water bearer. So it's the waters from the what we call the rivers of heaven, which is the stream of water that runs through the upper atmosphere. It's an actual river, and you can look it up. It's called the atmospheric river. So this is what we talk about. The Aquarius, this river will overrun its banks, which causes water anomalies because the system is out of balance. It tilts the water out of the jug, so to speak.
Mm. Mm.
Now, it's a whole lot of other symbolism that go with that. But um, when you understanding that the changing of the times become significant with which zodiac sign will be needed by that birth trait, the character that's going to be born into the child born under this zodiac trait at this time will be needed to perform this function in order to help us all recover our balance back in nature. Because if when we get out of balance with ourselves because of the nefarious traits, characters, and characteristics, and we embellish and encourage the benevolent traits and dispositions and characteristics. But Bast is the like the lion is the king of the jungle because Bast is the queen of the cats. And the king of the jungle he ain't shit without his pride, and his pride is in his family, and his family is ran by his wife, right? And the pride of the wife is in the kitchen, and the kitchen is the heart of the home. And home is where the heart is, and the heart of the home is where the ones you reside with make it a home. It's an environment. It's a feng shui, right? So that's what we are trying to get back to. So I'm gonna take a couple of guests before I end this. Styles by Nina. Always been dancing, make this shit so. Oh, I'm never getting carried away over here. So I'm gonna give her a couple minutes if she come in. I see you, Christina. Yeah, so yeah, y'all gotta learn to leave God's chosen ones alone, like Christina. She got the covering, the army of the sisters are having. Y'all don't really want, like motherfuckers think they want to bob. Y'all don't really want to do that. You know, she mind her business. You know, do her little thing in her lane, and we follow the rules of the culture. You don't get in grown folks' business if you don't know what you're talking about. Right? If it ain't hurting the kids, then you stay the fuck out of their business. And when y'all start getting into that shit, y'all don't know what y'all be getting into. Okay, so Laffy 10. Come on in and see what you gonna say to the clan. So the question I'm looking at is, what is the purpose of a seer? Right, and so people need to know when they register for the next class, they have to go to the seer sometimes when they can't see it on their own. Mm-hmm. That's when you get stuck in life and you don't know what to do or where to look for guidance, and you go to a seer. Most people look for seers when they can't figure out nothing else to do. They don't look for seers before that, and that's the culture that they grew up around, like a gypsy household or something like that. So generally, in the mainstream society, the average person won't go to a seer until they don't know what to do with themselves. At that point, they reaching for straws, they'll try anything. And when they go to the seer sometimes, if they sincere and they tell them, you know, from the heart, they can change their life for the better and give a whole new spin on how somebody lives. How can you tell if you real? Poke yourself with a pen, and if it hurt you, you real. If you feel like you're a natural healer, start studying everything related to healing that draws your interest. Because just because you're a healer, it don't mean that you want to be a doctor.
Okay.
Right. Sometimes you want to be a dietitian or a fitness guru or a life coach or a psychologist So if you feel like you're a healer, whatever draw your attention, study the shit out of it. You're gonna study some of the other parts of healing too by studying the part that you're drawn to. The part that you're drawn to the strongest is called your calling.
Mm.
That's why you're drawn to it the strongest, because you're being called in that direction. Okay, that's all the questions. And let me see if I got another guest. Styles by Nina. You want to come in? Question. So the question is, if a guy speaking evil on, you ain't never got to take it. That ain't what I mean by let karma deal with it. Sometime in order for you to do the right thing, JoJo, you got to punch a motherfucker in the face, push their snot box back. But sometimes you don't. Your job is to be able to distinguish when to kick that motherfucker in the balls for disrespecting you and when to pack your shit and make him come home to an empty house. That's what, that's what your job is. Sometimes you got to kick him in the balls. And then sometimes you just got to get the fuck out of there.
Mm.
Okay, so start by me to decline.
I did not decline, Rod.
Saucy air. Come on in. Another question come in. Everybody got, hey, what's going on with you?
I'm at work right now. That's what I'm doing. Oh,
All right, I can hear you a little better too.
all right, dope. All right, so my first question is, a minute ago, a lot of people were talking about 13 signs of astrology. So I wanted to know if you got any insight on Officius.
On what?
Officius, the 13 signs of the zodiac.
Okay, so in Egyptian, the 13th seed of the zodiac is the circle
Okay.
Our children together. But supposedly my mother and her husband is not here. Which I honestly, in my heart, I feel some truth to that. And that's what I was saying when I was asking you a question about my mirror. I didn't get a chance to finish typing because I'm like my grandmother and I've been very, and I know that I get that probably from over there. And so it's important for me
The
to
most
have that
important
book.
thing for you after what you went through, the most important thing you know is the why did they put that in our culture? If they wanted to traumatize you as early as possible, as severe as possible, because 9 out of 10, you have the blood right to claim a position of prominence in our community, and they wanted
May the most high be with you.
to tarnish you
Forgot I left the camera on. So I had to scooter doop on up out of here. Just wanted to share that info. That was Rod. He invited me into his live. It's just I didn't want to participate in a live titled something about somebody else because I don't know those people. And so that's pretty much what it is for me. I appreciate the brother and all the truth he brings. Everybody not bringing truth. Some people are treating this like a popularity contest. It's so stupid. But yeah, I'm not into popularity. I just want to talk mainly about the Mitro. We're just gonna look up into what he got going on. So he was talking about Mitro women DNA. Gotta learn how to spell it. MITOCHONDRIAL. Why is this big like that? Oh, what is really going on? Okay. So, it's for anybody who want to come in. I invited Brother Rod. Another thing is I just don't feel comfortable still giving energy to Instagram. They're so disrespectful. They want to censor. They want to censor. And so we're gonna move these. We're gonna stop screen share, and we're gonna share a screen back here. Excuse me. They still trying to put you in Africa. Nonsense, okay? Mm. So MQQ. So okay. So I'm gonna end this live because I don't want it to be too long. It's content, right? So we're gonna end it.